Okay, thank you, Nikhil ji, and President of IIA India, President of ICAN, Madan Krishna Sharma ji. This is the online orientation program we have organized for our ICAN members, how they can make their path to the IIA membership for the to be a route to the internal audit, because the internal audit has also globally standardized. So there is really a need to make this internal audit practice also in Nepal in a standard form. So for this, we have already signed MOU with IIA India, and this is the first program we are organizing for the members of the ICAN, so that they can have the route to get the membership of internal audit through the IIA, which is also one of the affiliated institute of IIA Global or the IIA Inc. So to start the program, first of all, I would like to request President of ICAN Madan Krishna Sharma ji to have some few words on this program.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Mr. Thiyagarajan Kumar, President IIA, and Mr. Nikhel Kochhar from IIA, and my Vice President, Mr. Yuddha, and all professional colleagues who are now participating in this 1 hour session aimed at improving the skills and knowledge of the professional accountants of Nepal, the members of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal, in collaboration with IIA India. It is very pleasant that we have been now working together formally because of IIA India agreeing to partner with us through a MOU in developing internal audit services in Nepal and enriching our professionals with the latest knowledge and developments, and also certification of IIA course, and overall enhancing the skills and knowledge and competencies of the members of ICAN in Nepal. This is the first session, first program actually after we have entered into the MOU, and this is a very important program actually, though it is just for 1 hour, but it sets the right path for going ahead, and it aims to provide our members that what they can do and they should do to gain more knowledge, certification, and competency in internal audit services sector, because internal audit service is becoming globally and also now in Nepal very important, and outsourcing of internal audit services are also gaining momentum. That means our clients, the overall business environment, even law requires mandatory internal audit for various organizations, and for all these purposes an internal audit service guided by the international professional practices framework that accumulates or puts in one place all the guidance and all those things promulgated by IIA USA, and that we get all these benefits through IIA India. And we again thanks very much to the current leadership of IIA India, Mr. Thiyagarajan, and special thank to Nikhel Kochhar. I invite all members to listen carefully what are to be done in going forward, as well as they can put their questions also. I think if they have any now or in going forward after these sessions through ICAN Executive Director, so that our members immediately start benefiting the outcome of this MOU, which we have aimed at to enhance overall knowledge and skill of our members, because up to now we did not have a formal internal audit courses or framework to follow in Nepal. Now with the assistance and cooperation of IIA India, we are planning to adopt this framework authoritatively by ICAN and promulgate it for Nepal, so that our members apply it and the users also apply, understand it, and we have a uniform and standardized internal audit services for the benefit of clients, and ultimately it will benefit all of us and our members. So having said all these things, few words, I would not take much time. Now I would like Sanjay ji to request Mr. Thiyagarajan also put some words for this, so that we move ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Sir, for your valuable insight about this program and the way forward we are going to create for our members. Now, I would like to request President of IIA, Thiyagarajan Kumar ji, to have few words about the IIA and the cooperation we have extended for the ICAN members. Thiyagarajan sir.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me congratulate Mr. Sharma, Mr. Sinha, and Mr. Yuddha for taking the initiative so dynamically forward so quickly. We hardly signed the MOU. The first event is on. This is the way we should progress. I think that's an excellent start to for providing excellent service to your members. From our side, we are always there to cooperate with you, share our experience, share our practices, so that collectively we are able to raise the quality of internal audit across. I mean, we are trying to do the same in India. I'm sure our experience would be relevant for you. There are a lot of areas where we can collaborate. We can share our training programs. Already we work with Sri Lanka. They automatically get all the training programs which we provide. Most of them are free. We conducted more than 140 webinars, seminars last year. So I think your members can benefit from that, where it can easily be passed on to you. Similarly, we have the monthly magazines, where we are making it available to our colleagues in Sri Lanka as well, which is a lot more tuned to the South Asian environment, where culturally sensitivity wise. So I think that is something which probably we can do as well. And we are taking a lot of initiatives to train youngsters in terms of challenge exams. Now ICAI, with Chartered Accountants of India, is one of the 17 recognized worldwide bodies whose members can take a challenge exam, which is just about taking about 150 questions in only one paper. If they clear it, they can become a certified internal auditor. This is something which we rolled out in India last year. More than 450 people applied for it in India. We are going to launch it again this year. And we are also providing huge amount of training through our learning partners to those people who would like to become CIAs, either through the challenge route or through the regular route. This can also be made available to you, which your members can benefit. Those who would like to take the CAA examinations, and if most of them, we understand, are also Indian ICAI members who are also practicing in Nepal, most of them would be able to become CIAs soon. Mr. Sharma spoke about standards and framework. IPPF, Professional Practice Framework, is world recognized, popularly known as Red Book, which gives the implementation guidelines, supplementary guidelines, recommended guidelines. They are really very good material which can be used by your professionals. Our website is currently under development, and we can also share a lot of best practices, whatever we have noticed and identified in our Indian environment, and also whatever we have learned in the global environment. Those will also be available to your members. They can also make use of them and customize it to the local environment. I mean, the core principles will remain the same, but the practices might change suitable to the local environment. And I think we can together make a significant progress in the audit profession. And there is a lot of discussion and thoughts and expressed by various people that audit profession would be one which could potentially be hugely disrupted by technology and digitization. Now, I for one believe that for a trained professional who keeps himself updating, the audit is not going to go anywhere. As long as there is separation of ownership and management, and more of money, which is other shareholders' money being pumped into the businesses, there'll always be a need for auditors who do quality work, who reassure the shareholders and also other regulators that the businesses to whom they have entrusted their money are being well managed. And I, for one, remain fully convinced that audit profession is not going to go anywhere, not going to get anywhere disrupted, but it certainly will have opportunity to do huge value. Only thing is, we need to keep ourselves hugely updated with technologies, practices, and keep ourselves adapted as the technology evolve. Events like this today, where we are all sharing our knowledge and experience, go a long way in keeping ourselves updated. I really commend the Nepal team for taking this initiative, and we are there always to support you, provide whatever experience, share our experiences, share our inputs, and let's grow together. Let's contribute together to the society. With these few words, I'd like to pass this on. I think Nikhel is waiting to take you through his presentation. Nikhel.
Thank you, Thiyagarajan sir, for really summarizing very well the importance of the internal audit and its global importance, and the overall the importance of the audit profession. It is not going to hit by any technological advancement, and your commitment and assurance to support the ICAN for its professional efforts. So with this words, really we are feel proud to associate with the IIA India. And now I would like to request Nikhil sir to start his presentation, the orientation program for the members, so that the members can have the real insight about how they can become the members of the IIA India and what are the benefits, professional benefits they will be availing by becoming the member of IIA India. So Nikhil sir, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma, Mr. Oli, Mr. Sena, and Mr. Thiyagarajan Kumar, who we fondly call Mr. TK. Just to quickly check, Sanjay ji, is my screen visible to everyone?
Yeah, okay. It's visible to everyone.
Excellent. So, without much ado, I would just like to start off on my presentation, and I do hope that there would be lots of questions and answers. We will try to save some time for those as well. Basically today, all I'm going to be doing is giving you all an indication over perhaps the next 40 minutes or so on what is the Institute of Internal Auditors, what is internal audit, where are the areas where we are active, and what all we can do in order to enhance our competencies, knowledge, and skills, as Mr. Sharma had mentioned. So basically, the Institute of Internal Auditors is a global body, and it is the profession's most widely recognized advocate, educator, provider of standards. Right now, Mr. TK was referring to the IPPF. So that is one of the components of the IPPF, guidance as well as certifications. So this is the kind of agenda which I'm going to be running you through today. The IIA's mission, goals and objectives, a little bit about global and IIA India's numbers, the IPPF, the global and local initiatives we are taking, a little bit about internal auditing, the benefits of IIA India membership, the events and training which we do, a little bit about the learning system, CIA learning system and certification, as well as recent initiatives. So before we start, one thing which I'd like to mention is I'm really happy to see that this event is taking place in the month of May. This little circular emblem which you see is the representation of Internal Audit Awareness Month, which takes place in the month of May every year. The objective of IIA and the profession is to make everyone a little more aware as to what internal audit is all about, what the IIA is all about, so that with this awareness, people can leverage this knowledge to use the internal audit as a tool to enhance and protect organizational value by providing risk-based and objective assurance, advice, and insight, which is the mission of internal audit. Please note that I have highlighted a few words because traditionally we always felt that as auditors we are supposed to protect organizational values or the value of the asset properly captured in the financial statements. But in addition to protection, we are also supposed to enhance. And we can do this by providing good advice, good assurance, and especially insight in addition to advice to the management of the entities we work with so that we are enhancing the value of the organization. There are multiple ways of doing it. I do hope that my presentation gives you an indication of some of these. How does the IIA provide dynamic leadership for the global profession? Not only by advocacy, which is something which I'm doing right now, and promoting the value that internal audit professionals add, but by providing the only globally recognized standards. As I told you, the standards are a part of the IPPF, professional practice guidance, comprehensive education, development opportunities, certification programs. In addition to that, there is a huge amount of research, information dissemination, promotions to practitioners and stakeholders regarding internal audit and its appropriate role in control, risk management, and governance, which is actually a part of the definition of internal audit. What are our objectives for IIA Global? These are our pillars of our success to create a stronger profession that IIA members, wherever they may be in the globe, wherever they may be, effectively engage with the stakeholders. Stakeholders goes well beyond the management. It goes well beyond the shareholders in an organization. It includes the regulators. It includes the society, which is affected by the organizations which we are talking, so that IIA members can provide better insight and risks on what is impacting their organization. Creating competent professionals who can deliver on stakeholder expectations. First, we need to understand what are our stakeholders' expectations. Then we deliver and demonstrate the value of our profession. And finally, having a sustainable operating model so that we can continue to deliver this value addition which I was speaking about. Over here we have the global statistics. As I told you, IIA has over 200,000 members on a worldwide basis, and out of these, 165,000 plus are CIAs or certified internal auditors. We have representation in 170 plus countries and 110 plus international affiliates. Different countries across the world are very much a part of the IIA. As far as India is concerned, the IIA India's footprint consists of 4,000 plus members. We are amongst the top 10, actually number 8 in the list of overall members in the world. And we have got 6 chapters in all the metropolitan cities of India, which are highlighted in red in this map. And we have also 10 audit clubs. So what we hope very quickly is that maybe we could also be having an audit club in Nepal, which would be associated with us. So we could help working together to enhance the knowledge, skills, and competencies of internal auditors, as well as elevate the profession to new levels so that you can add more value to the organizations you work with by providing good insight, assurance, and advice, as I had stated in the mission of internal audit. So both Mr. TK as well as me, we were referring to the IPPF. This is a small graphic description of what the IPPF is. The outer circle talks about the mission of internal audit, which is what I have already shared with you. The upper part of this circle in dark blue is the mandatory guidance, which talks about 10 core principles, the definition of internal audit, which is within one paragraph, the code of ethics, which speaks about some of the critical values which internal auditors are expected to possess, and the standards for internal audit. Let me tell you, people think that standards are huge, very complicated. The standards for the professional practice of internal audit on a global basis are just 20 pages. Any member of the IIA, if you become a member, can access these through the IIA website for free. If you read those 20 pages and reread them, I would say you should read them once every 6 months, you will find that your basic concepts of internal audit will be absolutely clear. Your fundas will be clear, and that is what will help you as a base to become a professional, more competent, and a more proficient internal auditor. On the lower part in gray, what we talk about is recommended guidance, which consists of both implementation guidance as well as supplemental guidance. The implementation guidance is basically to allow you to understand how to implement the standards. So wherever a standard needs a certain number of steps to be implemented properly in any organization, you will have this implementation guidance and supplemental guidance, which could be on any specific topic or on industry, which is also there. So the IPPF, which was reviewed and relooked at in 2017, introduced the mission, introduced the 10 core principles, as well as supplemental and implementation guides, which were already there. On a global basis, IIA tends to work with a lot of organizations, including the International Integrated Reporting Council. Some of you may have heard of COSO, which has a very famous internal control and risk management frameworks. It's a global standard in a way. IFAC, which you are also a part of. INTOSAI, which is the Supreme Audit Organizations, and of course relationships with other well-known world global organizations like ACCA, World Bank, United Nations, Basel Committee, which works on banking reforms and standards, and other regulators and listing organizations throughout the world. So within IIA India, we also have our own vision and mission. The vision is to be the most respected voice in the country on matters pertaining to internal audit, governance, and risk. And our mission is to contribute to the profession of internal audit in India, and of course now that also includes Nepal, and the competencies of its members, whether institutional, corporate, or individual, by providing value-added member services, conferences and events, research and advocacy on areas which are associated with internal audit. As an advocacy measure, we have also been working with the government of India, and I do hope ICAN would also be approaching its own government ministries. We have an MOU with the Controller General of Accounts, again, for upgrading the skills, for training. We have worked with the National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, which is a part of the Ministry of Rural Development, which has the largest value of social schemes which are there to help people in the lowest strata of society by providing them minimum work and guarantees. You may have heard of MNREGA. So we have actually, they are creating an army of auditors to audit government schemes. And I hope we could initiate something similar like that. I would request the leadership of ICAN to consider that, where we could be involved in training a team of auditors which would also benefit your members, because some of these auditors would also be members of ICAN, to help in auditing the schemes of the government to ensure that money which is being spent on rural development and other socially beneficial schemes can help the people who are not as privileged as many of us. We have worked with the Ministry of Agriculture to develop risk registers. I'm sure every ministry would need a risk register. This is another area which we can work on. And even the Reserve Bank of India has recognized the IIA and mentioned that its standards should be followed by banks in terms of risk-based internal audit, which we have been propagating and advocating for many years within the IIA. And I'm very happy to see that the RBI had first recognized this about 2 decades ago, 2002, if I'm not mistaken. But again, they have re-emphasized to the banks that that is how they need to operate in terms of risk-based internal auditing. They should be following the IIA standards, global standards, this particular basis. So very often people ask, what is internal audit? You have a statutory audit, we have an internal audit. Basically, internal audit provides assurance and advice to help the different stakeholders, as mentioned here, to understand what are the organization's risks and opportunities. Please appreciate that risk and opportunities are two sides of the same coin. I think one of the first principles of financial management we are taught as if you want to become chartered accountants is that risk is proportional to return. So how can you get involved in risk management to achieve success? Because in every business which you start, you take a risk. In every business you're involved in, you take risks. And if you know how to manage risk better, you are more likely to achieve success. Internal audit is a critical component of effective governance so that all the stakeholders are provided assurance. And it does not matter, it could be a public traded company, a privately held company, not-for-profit organization, a public sector organization, a government ministry, it really doesn't matter. Internal audit can add value in every organization. I just want all of you to think as to how many professional opportunities are available within this definition, within this this facet of internal audit which I'm showing to you. I want you to think, because you yourself, once you start thinking, will identify so many different opportunities where you can work with organizations of any size in any area to help them to be better in terms of their risk, their governance, and their control processes. And what does internal audit do? It helps organizations save money. It helps you protect your reputation, and it paves the way to success, because in the simplest form, we are identifying risks, we are identifying opportunities, and we are developing risk management strategies so that the risk is reduced and the opportunities are maximized in order for the organization you work with to be successful. And it does not matter, you don't have to be an employee, you could be an external service provider. So if you have a close involvement with this organization or organizations you work with, if you're in professional practice, you could be an employee of an organization, you have a holistic view because you are getting to see every aspect. Whereas a statutory auditor may normally focus on the financial records, an internal auditor will look at every aspect of the organization. And the better you understand it, the better your knowledge of the business, the organization is, you can be better positioned to become a strategic advisor, a strategic partner, assurance provider, a finder of solutions, a catalyst for change, and a troubleshooter. Because these are the roles internal auditors are playing on a global basis. So really what you need to appreciate is that internal auditors can basically help in making organizations stronger. The IPPF helps internal auditors to produce high quality work, and CIAs certified internal auditors are best suited to execute on this promise. So, what can you expect from your internal audit department? If you're a member of the IIA, they actually give you a ready-made presentation template. And this is the covering page of that template, which allows you to fill up what does internal audit do. Within that, you can fill in also who are the members of your team. You can put in their photographs. You have a ready-made presentation which you can present to your management. You can present to your clients if you're a professional services provider as to what is the value of internal auditing, namely providing assurance, providing insight in an objective manner. And you can present to them the value of internal auditing, and you can present this to all your stakeholders. What all can they expect from your internal audit department? I have not put the entire presentation here because that would take more time than we have available. However, this is it in a nutshell. You provide assurance, you provide insight, you provide objectivity because of the value systems which you sign off on as a part of your code of ethics. So the insight is on areas pertaining to governance, risk, and control. You are providing assurance on these areas. Sorry, not insight, but you're providing assurance on these areas. You provide insight by being a catalyst. You look at analytics for the information, you do periodic assessments, you help in bringing about change, you work as a catalyst for change through the insight which you can provide because of your knowledge of the business, your knowledge of numbers, your ability to look at data and make sure that these work as a catalyst for positive change in your organization. And third, but definitely not the least, is because of the values which internal auditors are expected to possess. You are supposed to provide an objective advice so that you can become a trusted advisor. You are supposed to have integrity, independence, accountability. You tell it as it is. You do not try to give a wrong impression. You do not try to take undue advantage of the knowledge which you have. Rather, you use it for improving the governance of an organization. And these are the pillars of good governance. First of all, it is essential to organizational success, and the internal auditor is the facilitator. It is essential to governance and fosters trust, transparency, and accountability. If you're working with a limited company, a public listed company, they have a board of directors, they have independent directors on their board. Are those people able to know what's happening at the grassroots level? No. So you as an internal auditor have to act as their eyes and ears in order to tell them what is happening across the organization. That is when you contribute to success, positive change, and innovation because you are delivering assurance, insight, and advice, which we spoke about in the first balloon when we talk about the value add by internal audit. It is most effective internal audit when its resource levels, competence, and structure are aligned with the organizational strategy and follow IIA standards and the IPPF, which is why I said they are just 20 pages of standards. The more comfortable you are with those standards, the easier it will be for you to implement them. Internal audit contributes the maximum value when it is relevant, objective, future focused, and attentive to both the risk and opportunities. It is your objectiveness which makes you a trusted person. You have to be relevant to what you do, and you have to be able to look at the future because of the future focus, so that you can see what is coming on the horizon. And of course, you must possess those values of independence so that undue influence is not impacting you and you are reporting functionally to the governing body. That is how ideally the organization is structured. The internal auditor is not supposed to be, as per IIA standards, reporting say to a CFO of an organization or even to the managing director of the organization. He may do so administratively, but functionally he's supposed to be reporting to the audit committee or the board. You know, many people used to ask us, what are the benefits of membership? So over the next few slides, I'm going to be sharing some of those benefits with you. We have created these slides some time ago, but you know, definitely in one or two slides or in the next few slides, you will get to understand. First of all, you have as a member instant access to the IPPF, which I had showed to you, as well as exclusive access to recommended guidance, which includes both implementation guidance and supplementary guidance. So if you want to implement any of the standards and you are not sure how to go about it, the implementation guidance would be a huge support for you. If you are working with the financial services industry and you're not sure as to how you should go about in adding value as an internal auditor, you will find any number of research and publications from the IIA, most of which will be available to you for free, which will tell you how to do a good audit, what are the best practices of global standards if you're working with a NBFC or with a financial services organization, with a bank. Similarly, certification. Please note that IIA India members get hugely discounted rates, which I will also highlight earlier. We also have access to CIA exam preparation classes. And recently, we have also started something known as a challenge exam, on which I will spend a little more time later. In addition to this, there are a huge number of conferences, seminars, PDMs, webinars, roundtables. Of course, we do hope that these will also entitle you to CPRs under the MOU, but that is something which you will have to take up with your own leadership. But IIA members get CPRs for their conference for participation, as well as for participation in our global training modules and other programs which we do. We come out with a monthly publication, which Mr. Thiyagarajan Kumar was talking to you about, as well as Global comes out with a magazine every 2 months. There are a great number of professional opportunities, networking, as well as career opportunities. We have a huge number of WhatsApp groups where, you know, on a daily basis, I keep seeing people requesting if we know any young chartered accountants or experienced chartered accountants to work in different organizations which have got different openings at different levels, and of course some of the salaries are extremely handsome and gives you a chance to definitely further your own professional career. People also ask that, look, I'm a youngster, I'm a young professional, I have just qualified, what is the use? I'm already a chartered accountant, why do I need to do a CIA? The point is, it is very clearly proved that if you want to get into anything like GRC, governance, risk, controls, you get an additional qualification on the job. It enhances your career and your earning potential. Let me tell you, the CIA degree is globally recognized. So there are many parts of the world where a chartered accountancy degree may not be recognized, but a CIA degree is recognized. And I'm saying this as a chartered accountant myself. So do believe that I know what I'm talking about. Because of this global recognition, you would also get more weightage if you are applying for an internal auditor's job as compared to a person who does not have a CIA certification. I remember talking to some of your leaders also, and they also mentioned that there were certain MNCs, etc., within Nepal who were asking that do we have some CIAs or not. So I have no doubt that if you do your CIA, not only will it improve your knowledge, skills, and proficiencies, it will improve your professional opportunities also. Fortunately for IIA India, we get a huge concession in the CIA application fees, in the CIA examination fees, and even in the challenge examination fees. Percentages are already specified. So do feel free to ask about these details. But of course, you would need to become a member of IIA India first, for which you should approach ICAN to figure out what is the best way to do it. As I mentioned, we have a lot of social media groups for students, for members, for professionals at different levels, for chief audit executives, for IIA leaders. There are at least, I think, 40, 50 groups, which I myself am a member of, WhatsApp groups, which are only pertaining to IIA and internal audit. We allow you to post your resume for free if you're looking for jobs, easy access to advice and resources. If you're a volunteer, you get a chance to speak at conferences, write articles, contribute to research, teach at an IIA seminar, or develop courses. These are all opportunities which are going to help you develop as a professional, as a leader, as a person who can add value to the organizations you work with, because of the also the world-class training inputs which you will receive from IIA, as well as access to best-in-class world practices. I have just taken snapshots of some of the publications which we have using data analytics for fraud detection, the world of technology, again linked to internal audit, data analytics for internal auditors, on risk 2021, what are the differences and perceptions on risk between the internal auditors, the management, and the board, artificial intelligence strategy, agile internal audit, cyber security advice, disruptive innovation, fraud and internal audit. If I may just request, I think there's a little background. If you can just put yourself on mute if you're not speaking, so that the participants can also hear. These are other publications: data analytics, cyber security, adding value with COSO, toolkits for adding value with COSO, global perspective on the three-line model, which has just come through. Earlier, it used to be known as the three lines of defense, digital transformation, moving into the digital age, agile auditing, best practices for the profession. And believe you me, most of these publications which I'm showing you are available for free. If you make that investment in becoming a member, if you have a thirst for knowledge, if you want to improve your professional competency, the amount of value which you will get is absolutely incredible. TK has mentioned that we've done 140 plus webinars and trainings between April 2020 and March 2021. That was because the pandemic had just started. The point is, we may not be keeping exactly the same momentum, but the amount of training programs which we do, and many of them, actually a majority of them, are for free. Amount which you can learn from those, amount of benefit which you can get is absolutely phenomenal. We have access to global training modules. I will show you a list of those, which again will bring your knowledge up to world-class levels. We are also happy to do specially designed programs for organizations, for corporates. So if you have such requirements, we are happy to do it for ICAN, or for any of the clients of individual members. Even if you are not members, you're most welcome to approach ICAN and ask them to do it for us. We would be happy to look at designing programs specially for you. So I was telling you about our GTMs, or global training modules. We have advanced risk-based auditing, fundamentals of risk-based auditing, business processes, audit report writing, something very important. We used to think 60-page reports are very good. Today, the board wants a 10-page report, but does that 10-page report give more value or as much value as the 60-page reports we were writing earlier? This is how you will learn to do it. How to build a sustainable quality program. If you're interested in quality, I think on the 18th, 19th of June, we are doing a 2 half-day program on building a quality program for internal audit departments. Communication skills, COSO-based internal auditing, critical thinking, cyber security, fundamentals of IT auditing, ITGC, root cause analysis, tools and techniques for new auditors, for lead auditors, for audit managers. It's absolutely huge. We have a learning system for the CIA course. So those of you who want to become CIAs, you can also go in for this particular learning system. And then we have the CI exam, which consists of 3 parts: essentials of internal auditing, practice of internal auditing, and business knowledge for internal auditing. All these are different aspects of the 3-part exam. And this gives you an indication of how you can get somewhere from a 40 to 60% benefit as a member of IIA India as compared to what global members would pay. And if you are looking at what non-members are paying, very often it is close to double of what members from India are requested to pay. So there definitely is a huge value add by becoming a member of IIA India. Mr. TK had also given a reference to the challenge exam. Basically, the challenge exam allows you to become a CIA in one sitting, provided you are a member of one of the 17 shortlisted global accounting bodies. The ICAI is one of those shortlisted bodies. Mr. Sanjay had also mentioned to me, Mr. Sanjay Sinha, that quite a few of your 1,500 to 1,000 members are also have done their CIA from India. Some of them are also members of ICAI. Well, if you are members, you can sit for the challenge exam and become a CIA at one shot. It's not easy, it's not cheap, but if you do it, you get that additional degree at one sitting in one shot, provided you are successful. So it's definitely worth looking at. This is just to give you an indication of the stuff which we do. The photograph which you see on the top right was the last physical event we held, our national conference in Bangalore in 2020. We had more than 300 people attending. Our virtual national conference in October had more than 20,000 participants. We were addressed by Richard Chambers, the president and CEO at that time of IIA Global, and Janita John, who is our chairperson, chairman of the board. She's also of Indian origin. We have shared trainings with Asian affiliates. I told you about the 10 audit clubs we have. These were the ones we have activated within the last year and a half. The challenge exam has been launched, which I've just discussed with you. We also have a tie-up with GLIME and VG Learning. So GLIME, which is one of the premier, knowledge providers for study material, for the CIA exam. They are offering their material to us again at hugely discounted rates. And VG Learning is our current learning partner with whom, you are in a position to sit for your CIA. You can do your training with them so that you can prepare for the CIA exam. They are holding online classes to prepare people. So we've already been sharing with you about our online webinars as well as our magazine. We also do membership surveys to find out what is it that our stakeholders are interested in. So similarly, as you will note, as we end celebrating Internal Audit Awareness Month in the month of May, there are a huge number of benefits which are involved. So I do hope, we look forward to a very, very successful association between IIA India and ICAN, so that we can all benefit from this particular association and help all of you in building your knowledge, your skills, etc., so that we can take things forward in a more positive manner. So we do have a few minutes left as far as this presentation is concerned. I would like if you can all tell us as to if you have any specific questions which we can answer, so that we can answer those questions which you have and see how we can take things forward in a proper manner. So over to you now, Mr. Sanjay. Or
Thank you, Nikhil. I think you are muted, Nikhil.
oh, my apologies. So, but I did hope that you could see me through the entire presentation at least.
Yeah,
so, okay.
Really,
So please do feel free.
Very subjective and very insightful presentation you have made. Really, this clearly shows the importance of the internal audit and its global advancement and its need in the developing country like India, Nepal, and all neighboring countries. So this is the really right time we have joined the hand, and I think our members going through all this presentation, they will be more than happy to join this IIA membership program, and gradually we will increase, and naturally there is a need because the Nepal is also having lots of multinational, lots of banking and insurance sector, so there is always need of the internal standardized internal practices. So that portion currently lacking, so for that ICAN is trying to have something better for their members. Now I think there are not I cannot see any question and the answer from the members.
Right.
But
Chanchal, do we have any questions?
Yeah, sir. We have some questions.
So Chanchal has got some questions. So maybe if they ask, I mean, I would be happy to answer those questions. But yes, definitely we look forward. And if anyone is interested in a copy of this presentation, I will share it with Mr. Sanjay Sinha so that you can circulate it amongst any of your people who would like to go through it again, or in case you want to circulate this amongst your friends, it will give you a good idea. And then of course after that we'll be happy to answer any questions. So Chanchal, please do let me know if there are any questions.
Yes, sir. So process of taking IIA membership and fees.
Yeah, so I think since we have a tie-up with ICAN, I think it is better that you should approach ICAN for whatever is the process. Of course, you can directly operate, but I think in case ICAN is going to be the nodal body with whom we have an MOU, it is better that I think ICAN should also keep abreast of the people. So my suggestion is please approach ICAN. Mr. Sanjay Sinha, I'm sure, would be happy to facilitate the process, and IIA looks forward to working with ICAN to facilitate all the memberships which are required.
Thanks, sir. Next question: is it possible to attend challenge exam of Thiyagarajan by ICAN members having qualified from ICAN?
As of now, ICAN is not in the list of 17 qualified accounting bodies, my friend. This list is done by the Professional Certifications Board of IIA Global, and it is based on on certain evaluation criteria which they have. So at this point of time, it is not possible. I'm sure in case ICAN wishes to raise this issue with IIA Global, we will be happy to facilitate the process. It would depend on, I think, the kind of course content and the discipline and the stringency of the curriculum, which But as of now, the answer is I'm afraid not. Next question, please.
We are retired bankers, so how it will be benefits to we?
Sir, if you're a retired banker, I think you can become a fantastic auditor of banks. And definitely, if you increase your knowledge on how financial service organizations internal audit can be conducted, definitely there will be a huge benefit. Every bank needs to be audited. Every financial service organization, if it is a small NBFC, a large NBFC, mutual fund, microfinance, insurance company, your banking knowledge will definitely come in handy for all these. So I think there is a lot of opportunity for people with banking knowledge, sir. Next.
Thank you, sir. So we have one more question.
Yes.
What is the schedule of challenge exam? Will there be an exam center in Nepal as well?
You see, what you will have to see is whether you have a Pearson View Center in Nepal. As I repeat, for sitting for the challenge exam, you would need to be a active member of one of those 17 qualified accounting bodies, which Mr. TK has mentioned. So if you are an active member of one of those 17 qualified bodies, you would be entitled to, and you would be able to sit for it at any Pearson View Center, provided you have registered and complied with all the formalities which are involved. All those formalities for the challenge exam are already specified on a very detailed PPT, which is available on our website. Exams are conducted this year in June and November, and next year also they will be conducting them, I think, at least 3 times, if not more often, starting with January 2022. Don't worry, I think just do your homework and make sure that you're ready. But even if you don't sit for the challenge exam, there is nothing to stop you from sitting for the 3-part CIA exam. If this is a course which you're not familiar with, I would suggest you take your own time, do it properly, become more thorough, and you will definitely feel the benefit. The day you start studying, you will feel that you are becoming a more proficient internal auditor.
Thank you. Thank
So
you,
one more
Nikhil ji, for
question.
Yes, Chanchal.
Yes, Chanchal.
This is Vishrut Thapa, Executive Director, Nepal Rashtra Bank. We are under process of implementing risk-based internal audit in Nepal Rashtra Bank, Central Bank of Nepal. Can your organization some tailored risk-based internal audit training?
Definitely, sir. It would be our pleasure to do a risk-based internal audit training for you. It would be a privilege as well as a pleasure, and we do have a huge number of training professionals with us who are working with several banks, who have knowledge of banking activities and who can support you in these areas. Of course, we would be happy to do that in association with ICAN, if that is possible. Or if you wish to approach us, I leave that choice to you. But definitely, we are in a position to help you. There are multiple guidelines we have on how to do effective risk-based internal audit in financial organizations. And I'm sure your bank, would benefit, your staff would benefit from those, and it could also perhaps help you in framing detailed guidelines on risk-based internal audit of banks, over a period of time, how it can be done at global standards or as close to global standards based on your specific needs and requirements.
I think I want
Sir,
to add.
so that was the last question.
I
one
just
second,
want to add one more thing.
Yes, Mr.
Related
Sharma.
to the Nepal Rashtra Bank question on this risk-based internal audit. That is actually the need of the hour. Here, the internal audit, risk-based internal audit is being, desired for several years by now, 2-3 years already gone. But still, it is not been happening the way our central bank wants it in an international level. This will be a good opportunity that IIA India and ICAN work together and work with central bank. And I would also request use this opportunity to just throw one more option here, that our central bank has issued a directive that requires the banks to conduct their internal audit. So in that directives, maybe in going forward, when they amend it and after we have all these trainings, maybe that if the IIA standards or IPPF is also linked there, just like it is in Reserve Bank of India, I think that would be a fantastic thing to streamline and unify the internal audit systems of the banks and financial institutions in Nepal.
So,
Just
Mr.
I wanted
Sharma, if I can, no, thank you. I think that's very valuable advice. If you permit, I would just like to supplement what you're saying with a couple of things. There are two aspects, Mr. Thapa, on which we could work on. One is on having detailed guidelines on how risk-based audit is to be conducted, within the banks itself. And the second is to help in conducting training on risk-based internal audit for the individual banks where this is to be implemented, because I think once you start implementing, you also need people who are trained and who have got experience in this particular area. So we would be happy to work with you along with ICAN to implement these in the manner that you feel is beneficial and will work best for you to attain your objectives, sir.
Thank you, Nikhil ji, for elaborate explaining all the queries of the participants. And really, the last one, if you recall, in our last meeting, we have agreed on one MOU. There was one of the point we have agreed that very soon we are going to have the internal audit, some risk-based internal audit trainings for our government organizations also, and one of them being the Nepal Bank is one of the regulating organizations that also fall within that category. So we will be coming up with all this program very soon. This was the first program we have started to proceed according to our agreed MOU. And now I think we have already covered all the aspects of today's orientation program, and now it's time to sum up the program. And for this, I would like to request our Vice President Yuddha sir to sum up this program with his observation and his valuable inputs about this relationship with the IIA ICAN. Yuddha sir. Mute sir, Yuddha sir.
So there will be an icon for the mic, in your screen. If you just press on that, I think it should unmute you, sir.
Oh.
So anyway, Sanjay ji, whilst Mr. Oli is joining us, the beauty of risk-based internal audit is that it allows the focus of the resources of internal audit on the areas of maximum risk. And this is something which definitely will be applicable to all banking institutions. It is equally applicable to all ministries in the government. We will be more than happy to work with you because I'm sure you would have your own relations with the different ministries, and this would help in raising the quality of internal audit across your country. So we would be happy to work with you there also.
Yeah, actually we are planning because one of the pertinent organization we are having, the Auditor General Office, FCGO, all are there. And besides that, just a minute, Mr. Oli is trying to.
Have you managed to unmute Mr. Oli?
So we have some feedback question. Can we poll out?
Yeah, I think until Mr. Oli comes back onto the weekend, you can ask the questions, Chanchal.
So requesting members to participate. So we will serve better.
Chanchal, can you view all of us on the screen? Because I've suddenly lost the view of all the panelists.
Due to questions, sir, it will close.
Okay.
This is the last question, so we will get back.
Okay, okay.
Suninja?
Sunio.
Sorry for the technical reason. Good evening, everyone. Today's panelist, President ICA Nepal, Mr. M.K. Sharma, President IIA Nepal, Mr. Thiyagarajan, Mr. Nikhel IIA, and our ICA Nepal ED Sanjay Sinha, and all participants joined virtually in this program. So right now, after the few months like dialogues and initiations, we signed one MOU with IIA India, realizing that in Nepal also we require some post-qualification courses regarding the internal audit for our members. We are very thankful to IIA India that we are having good cooperation and we are having better understanding. And in case of Nepal, till now we don't have any internal audit standards as such. So we have, our members have faced so many difficulties while conducting internal audits, as well as there are so many questions on internal audit about what is your internal audit standards and how you have conducted the internal audit standards. And even in many cases, we could see that the internal audit reports and the external audit reports, they are more or less the same. So with realization of this gap, we have approached IIA India, and you have shown so much interest, and now we are tied up with MOU. And while presenting this program as a panelist, Mr. Nikhil has well presented about the importance of the internal audit and how it helps for the governance and better like cost effectiveness and better presentations of the financial statements as well, and how these professionals, after being certified from IIA, will get more opportunities in those areas. So, and as you have mentioned, the membership pathway to our members, we are very eager even to join within 17, and ICA Nepal can be like can be added, and it will be like 18th member, so that our all members who are qualified from even ICA Nepal itself, will be joining to your course. So this program has even given insight to our members about how to join and what are the courses, what are the fees, and what are the benefits after being qualified from the IIA. And even as per the MOU of between the two institutes, we are planning to hold internal audit seminars, and we are even planning to have one internal audit board in ICA Nepal itself, and we are even planning, as we discussed with our president, that from the next fiscal year we are going to issue some internal audit standards so far practical. So this is how we are expecting some like some help in terms of the resources and this support and technical guidance for issuing the internal audit standards and internal audit trainings and programs. And I am very much thankful to IIA India, and even I am very much thankful for the presence of our two presidents from the two institutes and two EDs from the two institutes. And even in last, I want to thank all the participants for their presence in this program and making it successful. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you. Have a great evening and a good weekend. Look forward to interactions
Same.
in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye
Same
bye.
to you, sir. And
Allow us
all.
to disconnect. We have another program starting in another 5 minutes. So thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Thiyagarajan.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
So
Bye bye.
yeah, we are logging.
Stay safe.
Thank
Yes,
Stay
thank
safe.
you,
and
Mr.
healthy.
Sansal also.
And I will share this presentation with you, Mr. Sinha, by tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.